I am officially a game dev now, so I gotta make a game. I could start with something simple like a platformer or something along the lines of Flappy Bird, but I'm kind of a dingus, so I decided to make a first-person shooter, because, you know, that can't be hard at all, right? I made a new 3D project and yeah, I don't know where to start. But I've seen enough Danny videos in my lifetime to know that every good story begins with a bean, so now I just gotta make this thing move. And well, I've done that before, so let me just rip this movement system out of this other game and that's not gonna work. I was pretty lost, but I'm a smart guy, so I could probably figure this out on my own. And now begins the saga of Justin needing help from other YouTubers because he is too incompetent to solve his own shit. So yeah, with a little help from Dave Game Development, I got this smooth movement system working. Then I remembered that first-person shooters have guns, so I made this simple pistol in Blender. I kind of forgot to give it a trigger. I imported it to Unity and yeah, that's not good. I tried all sorts of stuff to make the gun keep its textures, but nothing was really working. So welcome back to another episode of me still needing help from other YouTubers. According to this rigor mortis tortoise person, I was doing everything completely wrong. What I needed to do was bake the texture onto the gun, then save the image separately and slap it on top of the gun in Unity. Now I gotta spice this thing up with some animations and boom, now it either plays an idle or a walking animation based on whether the player is moving on the ground or not. The only thing it was missing was a shoot animation, and I mean, it's not that important, right? So yeah, guns are kind of supposed to be able to shoot something, but holy crap, this stupid animation just didn't want to cooperate. I was about to just scrap all the guns animations entirely because, you know, it wouldn't really make any sense to have gun animations without a shoot animation. But before I gave up entirely, I went to Reddit because, you know, helpful. And what I found there was a single post by this absolute shimmering lifesaver of a man. If I'm not mistaken, what you've done is make a very short animation clip. Try setting the transition duration to 0. And let's go, we did it, boys! Now that I had all the gun's animations done, I decided I was gonna add some cool stuff to the gun, like muzzle flash and realistic weapon sway. And I tried it, but this guy on YouTube called Play had a way better solution than I did, so I just kinda stole it. Now I have to make the gun actually fire, because that's literally the only thing the gun is supposed to do. At first I was gonna use an actual physical bullet, but then I found out it could be done way more efficiently with a ray cast. I had the general idea, but I couldn't quite get it to work, so after stealing some code, getting a little help from Llama Academy, I got this raycast bullet to work where it would leave a trail behind and also a particle effect where it hits something. And look at that, shooting actually works. Now I've just gotta... Yeah, the lighting kinda sucked. So I doctored it up a bit, covered it in post-processing, and boom, now it actually kinda looks okay. Now it's time to give this game some personality because right now it's pretty boring. So I wanted to make an enemy, but in Unity apparently that's one of the most annoying and f***ing terrible, fun and exciting things I've ever done. In other words, I wanted to die, but I didn't know that yet, so I went to Blender and I got cooking. Welcome to the joy of blending. No, I'm gonna get sued for this. Today we'll be making a happy little shit with only 5 minutes to do so. You can ready that timer back there. We're gonna start this off with the happy little cube. Now we're just gonna sculpt it into a human. And now we can add the details. Now how much time do I got? You got like 30 seconds. Shit. Alright, here we're gonna give him some eyes. Alright, let's give him a happy little cowboy hat. And we're out of time. Don't worry about that. So after about 5 minutes of work and making some of the most beautifully sculpted pecs I've ever seen, I present to you the proudest work I've created so far, Cletus. I didn't have time to give him clothes. Cletus is kind of a pain in the ass because for some reason he just really didn't like the animation rig I gave him and he kept doing inappropriate things in retaliation. But eventually after like a week I got him to work correctly. So now it's time to have some fun and animate this guy. I gave him a basic walk animation as well as one where he sees you and yells at you before he starts chasing you. And I tried to make an idle animation where he just stands and looks around but his mouth wasn't cooperating, so I scratched that and decided to work on a run animation instead. Which was definitely not just the walk animation sped up. Who would do that? Now I need to actually make him move, because right now he's just floating around acting weird. So I gave him a beam collider, but I found out that if you give him a rigid body, you can just kind of push him over and roll him around. After a while, I decided I should probably stop bullying Cletus, because that's not cool at all, and I definitely don't condone it. Usually. What I needed to do now was make Cletus chase the player, and yeah, I had no clue how to do that. So I did what any confused developer would do in my position, and I called upon the Lord and Savior of all game developers, Barakis. Oh yeah. Bracky's explained that what I needed was to give Cletus a nav mesh agent, and I don't know what that is, so yeah. But according to the internet, a nav mesh agent basically just gives Cletus the power of AI, so now he knows exactly where I am and how to hunt me down. So now I'm gonna test him out here real quick, and apparently Unity's nav mesh AI doesn't use physics, so you know, that's kind of a big issue. Anyway, Cletus now has the power of AI, so I'm just gonna go home and relax. Hello?
No, you're not, buddy boy.
What?
I will put you through more suffering than stepping on a Lego.
Well, that's not too bad. I've done that before.
The Batman helmet kind.
You wouldn't dare.
Good luck, you stupid bitch.
Well, now I feel threatened, so I'm just gonna avoid Cletus for a while. At this point, my game was feeling kinda empty inside. So I was like, dude, what if the player could like do slow motion and like make time go down? And like, I probably can't, but I'm gonna try it anyway. And oh, that was easier than I thought it was gonna be. So I'm just gonna sprinkle in some post-processing here. And wow, look at that slow-mo effect. So yeah, the game is basically done at this point, but I feel like I'm still missing something.
That's right, you silly rapscallion. Give me a ragdoll, or I will delete your game.
So, yeah, ragdolls. It's like spaghetti. Except there's one tiny problem. Cletus doesn't have the right bones. So I had to put him to rest. Alright boys, time to make another one. I brought Cletus back in, and luckily the thing with all the code was his parent object, the bean. So all I really had to redo was the animations, and he's still flopping around like a fish. Well, after looking around in a Unity forum, I found out that since Cletus wasn't built with the same bones as a normal human, he was classified by Unity as an animal, which is kinda cruel, not gonna lie. This meant that I had to manually activate his skeleton in code, so I got that to work, and I found a random finger on him. So let's just get rid of that and... oh no. Yeah, Cletus was kind of completely gone. So, I re-imported Cletus, gave him a bean collider, reanimated Cletus, accidentally deleted his run animation, remade his run animation, coded his ragdoll, coded his nav mesh AI, gave him pistol knockback, made him face the player, finished him off with some blood particles, and Cletus was finally back in business, baby! And in celebration, I gave the player the ability to fly. Sorry, that had nothing to do with anything. After all that trouble, the game is finally done. For now, I mean. Obviously, this garbage is not done yet. In terms of where this game is going and what I'm gonna do with it, I don't really know. If I don't end up turning it into a full-fledged game, then at least it's a pretty good template for a first-person shooter. Otherwise, I'm probably just gonna work on it in secret and keep most stuff under the radar. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching.